Hi everyone, my name's Kay Kalthoff and welcome to a Stamping to Share video. Today I'm going to share with you how I created this really cute Christmas card. It's a clean and simple look and it doesn't take very long at all to make. The first thing that I made was my card base, which uses the new in color called Gumball Green, and it's just your standard card. It is cut at 8.5 by 5.5 and then folded in half. And you will also need 2 pieces of very vanilla cardstock, and these are panels that nestle into your card base. So they're cut at 4 inches by 5.25 inches. The next thing that we need is, as you can see, a little wreath. And Stampin' Up! Has a new die that they've introduced in this past catalog, and it is called the Delicate Doilies Large Sizzlit die. And it looks like this, and you'll notice that mine has a little shiny surface, and that's because I've put packing tape over the top. And I'll just grab it real quick. My packing tape, ordinary clear packing tape, looks just like this. This is the Scotch brand. And all I did was cover the surface of it, and that keeps the chads from sticking in these holes, and so you don't have to take those out every time. Now when you do use your Big Shot to cut this, you will find that you still have some chads, and of course you will get these, that stick into the doily. And all you do is take a paper piercer and you just punch those out. And it's actually fairly quick to do. Once those are punched out, and you can see what a delicate image that is, it sort of looks like a wreath. However, we do have to enlarge the center part. And so what I do is, once the chads are punched out, and I also punch out the center piece, I take my 3/4 inch circle punch, turn it upside down, and I can just center my doily into the 3/4 inch circle punch and punch out that center. And when you take it out, you have your wreath. And so the next thing is to glue that wreath onto a 2.5 inch square of very vanilla cardstock, which I've done here. I wanted to go ahead and set that up for you so this wouldn't be such a long video. And after that, we are going to take some designer paper, and this is a great card to do when you need to make a lot of cards, but you don't want to use too much designer paper, but you want a little bit to jazz it up. So this designer paper is called Be of Good Cheer, and I just love it. It's so bright and happy, and so all you're going to do is take a little bit of our multi-purpose liquid glue, and I just run that on the back, and I'm just setting it up onto the Whisper White panel that's going to go on the front of my card. Then Stampin' Up! Also introduced some new stitch grosgrain ribbon, and this is 1/4 inch wide. It has this little white stitching that runs down the center. Really cute. And how I apply that to my card is I cut it just a little bit bigger than the base of my, or than the width of my card panel. I use Stampin' Up! Snail adhesive, and I just put a little snail on the back, and this actually does a fantastic job. Let's see, I'm going to get this off just take your adhesive remover and take it off anything that the extra snail is sticking to. But I'm just going to set this onto right over the top of my panel, nice and straight. And then I am going to turn it over, take my ribbon scissors, and just trim these pieces of ribbon even with the sides of my card. Alright, then we're ready to put this part down on the front of our card. So I'm just going to go ahead and add my snail. Now you may wonder why I use snail when you know that, or some of you probably know that I love multi-purpose liquid glue. However, I always use snail on Whisper White and Very Vanilla, just in case the glue line would show through. So there we go. Now we're going to stamp the sentiment. The sentiment says Christmas cheer, and it's from our Sweet Essential stamp set. I use the Clearmount stamps and I do not put the sticker on the back of my stamp. However, to prevent myself from stamping the image upside down, I do take a pen and I just mark with an arrow which side of the stamp is up. That way my customers and I don't make that mistake. So now I'm going to kind of take this out of the picture. And actually, to get a good image, if you've ever stamped on a card that's sort of put together, you notice how floppy it is? It's a good idea to actually set it flat so you don't have to deal with the floppiness when you're stamping. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm inking up my stamp. And you notice I have the grid lines on here too, and so that also helps me keep it lined up real nice. So straight down, straight up, and no wiggling, and you get a nice Christmas cheer. Then we're going to take our wreath, and I've already put dimensionals on the back. So we'll take that off. And that just gets centered on our card, like so. You can see how it looks so far. Then the last thing that I'm going to do is take a little tiny ribbon bow made with our 1/4 inch taffeta ribbon, and I'm going to set it onto my glue dots like so. Then I can take my paper piercing tool, lift it off, and again using the paper piercing tool because my fingers sometimes are too big and I can't see exactly where I'm placing it. So I can just set it right on top of the wreath. And we have our Christmas card. Now of course I don't like to make a card without doing something on the inside, so I'm just going to stamp a sentiment from More Merry Christmas Messages. And that just is going to go right here. And again, I'm going to take a little snail, put it on the back. Now with your inside panel, you really don't need to glue all the way around or put snail all over the place. Actually, I think the most elegant cards that you see are ones that are a little bit more loose and flowing. And actually, you really only need snail at that very top piece of the panel. And so there's the card completed. Hope you have a great day, and thanks so much for stopping by Stamping to Share. Bye-bye.